She feels it in her stomach. That tightness she pretends isn't there. He calls her when his plans fall through, reaches out when he's bored, wants her when he's alone. But when he has something better, she simply ceases to exist. She's not the first person he thinks to call when something good happens. Not the one he proudly introduces to his family. Not in his weekend plans, in the photos he posts, in the futures he draws. She's the maybe, the I'll let you know, the we'll see. She's the woman who's always available while he's always uncertain. And worst of all, she accepts it. She smiles. She says it's fine, no problem, while inside something dies a little more each time. And late at night, when she's alone, the question haunts her. Why do I put myself in this position? Why do I accept the crumbs when I know I deserve the entire feast? This is the suffocating pain of women who accept being a second choice. And today we're diving into the devastating psychology behind this pattern. Because it's not lack of dignity. It's not desperation. And it's not because she doesn't know her worth intellectually. It's a complex web of emotional conditioning, childhood wounds, and psychological defense mechanisms so deep, she doesn't even realize she's operating in them. And without understanding what really keeps her in this place of being a backup, she'll spend her entire life waiting to be chosen by people who have already decided she's an option, not a priority. Let's start by destroying the lie she tells herself. She doesn't accept being a second choice because she's desperate. She accepts it because her brain was conditioned to compete for love. And this has a name in psychology: validation hunger. When she grows up in an environment where love and attention were scarce and conditional, where she had to compete with siblings, with her parents' work, with their own emotional wounds, her brain filed away a devastating belief. Love is something limited and she needs to fight for it. So she developed an extremely high tolerance for mediocre treatment. She learned to settle for less, to celebrate crumbs as if they were a complete meal, to be grateful for the minimum as if it were extraordinary. And when she finds someone who treats her as a backup, as plan B, as a convenient option, something inside her doesn't recognize this as a giant red flag. Recognizes it as an opportunity to finally prove she can win the competition. Her unconscious whispers, "If I'm patient enough, understanding enough, available enough, he'll realize that I'm the right choice. And then, finally, I'll prove my worth." But the brutal truth is this. She's not trying to win his love. She's trying to win a competition that only exists in her head, fed by wounds that only she carries. And until she realizes this, she'll keep accepting being treated as an option by people who should treat her as an absolute priority. Now the question arises, but how did she let it get to this point? How did she, an intelligent and capable woman, accept this role? Because the pattern of accepting being a second choice never starts with her knowing she's a second choice. It starts subtly. In the beginning, he gives her attention, makes her feel special. She feels chosen. But slowly, very slowly, things change. He starts canceling plans at the last minute. Messages become more spaced out. He disappears for days and reappears as if nothing happened. She notices he only reaches out at specific times, late at night, weekends without plans. She notices he never includes her in his real life, only in his private life. And in each of these moments, she had a choice. But instead of setting the boundary and risking losing him, she chose to adapt. Be the chill girl, the one who doesn't make drama, the one who understands he's busy. And every time she swallowed the disappointment and remained available, she taught him he can treat her as an option without consequences. If she grew up learning that her needs bothered people, that crying was dramatic, that asking for attention was neediness, that setting boundaries was demanding, she learned to silence her own needs to not push people away. If she grew up seeing her mother accept being a second choice, a father who prioritized work, friends, other women, she learned that this is normal, that this is how men are, that she should settle. If she grew up with fear of abandonment, absent parents, unstable relationships, early losses, she learned it's better to have someone halfway than to have nobody. And now she's in a relationship where she's not a priority. But her brain reads this not as get out of here, but as try harder. As she remains as a second choice, the psychological symptoms intensify in devastating ways. She develops chronic waiting anxiety. She lives constantly in the will he call me? Will he give me attention today? Will he choose me this time? Her life goes on pause waiting for him to press play. She begins measuring her value by his choice. When he gives her attention, she feels validated, important, sufficient. When he ignores her, she feels disposable, insufficient, wrong. She completely outsourced her self-esteem to someone who barely cares. She develops obsessive comparative thinking. She finds herself stalking the other women in his life, comparing her body, her personality, her achievements, trying to figure out what they have that she doesn't. As if the problem were her not being enough, and not him being incapable of valuing her. She begins practicing strategic self-erasure. She doesn't complain when he cancels, doesn't question when he disappears, doesn't demand when he treats her badly, because she believes if she's easy to deal with, he'll finally choose her for real. But the easier she becomes, the less he values her. And most dangerous, she develops gratitude for crumbs. He sends her a good morning, she's happy all day. He agrees to see her after weeks. She celebrates as if it were an achievement. He finally posts a photo with her. She feels victorious. And she confuses these crumbs with progress, when in reality it's just intermittent manipulation. This is the psychology of a woman who accepts being a second choice. It's not just about valuing herself more. It's a complex process of self-destruction, where she hands over her power, her dignity, and her peace of mind to someone who doesn't even give her the basics in return. So what happens to this woman when she continues accepting this place? She becomes the adult who can't believe it when someone treats her well, because she got so used to less that the basic seems extraordinary. And when someone appears who really prioritizes her, she finds it too intense, too fast, too good to be true. She becomes the woman who's ashamed to tell her friends the truth about the relationship, because she knows, deep down, that they'll say what she doesn't want to hear. You deserve better. Get out of this. She becomes the type of woman who waits for him to decide when they see each other, as if her schedule doesn't matter, accepts crumbs of affection and calls it a relationship, justifies his behavior with more conviction than he would himself, feels grateful when he gives her the minimum that any decent person would give automatically, lives more in the hope of what he could become than in the reality of what he is. She inherits a life where she's always waiting, waiting to be chosen, waiting to be promoted from option to priority, waiting for him to one day realize her value. But here's the truth nobody has the courage to tell her. He already sees her. He already knows who she is. And he chose to keep her as an option. It's not a matter of time. It's not a matter of her proving anything more. It's not a matter of him not being ready. When a man wants someone as a priority, he makes them a priority. Period. He doesn't leave her in doubt, doesn't make her compete, doesn't make her wait, doesn't treat her as a backup. And if he's doing this, it's because he can. And he can because she allows it. Now let's talk about how being a second choice manifests in daily life in ways she's probably normalizing. In the plans, her asking, "Can we see each other Saturday?" Him saying, "Let me see how my week goes and I'll let you know." Saturday arrives. She didn't make any plans because she was waiting for him to confirm. He texts her at 10 p.m. "Want to hang out?" His plans fell through. Now she's useful. In social media, he posts photos with everyone. Friends, family, places. But her? She doesn't exist there. And when she asks, he says, "I'm not really into posting about relationships," while she sees his ex is in half his old photos. In his crises, when he's down, she's the first person he looks for. She listens, comforts, solves, cares. She's present. Always. But when she needs him, "I'm kind of out of it right now, sorry." And she swallows it and says it's fine. On weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, he has plans. With friends, family, anything that isn't her. But Monday, Tuesday night, then he's available. Because Monday night nobody has better plans. Except her. In commitments, she introduces him as her boyfriend, her thing, her relationship. He introduces her as a friend. Or worse, doesn't introduce her. Because naming what they have would give her a status he doesn't want to give her. And in each of these situations, she felt it. Felt the humiliation. Felt the rejection. Felt the diminishment. But instead of leaving, she stayed. And by staying, she validated the treatment. One of the most important questions she needs to ask herself now isn't how do I make him choose me as a priority. The right question is, why do I put myself in a position to be chosen instead of simply leaving? Because the uncomfortable truth is, she only accepts being a second choice because she's afraid of something. And almost always, that fear isn't rational. It's emotional. It's visceral. Maybe she's afraid of being alone and having to face the emptiness inside her, confirming to herself that she's not good enough, having wasted time and leaving with nothing, never finding someone who truly wants her, admitting she was wrong about who he was. And while these fears command her choices, she'll keep accepting less than she deserves and calling it love. This is how she stops accepting being a second choice. Not by convincing him to choose her, but by choosing herself first. This is how she recovers her power. Not by being more understanding, but by being more honest about what she really accepts. This is how she frees herself. Not by waiting for him to realize her value, but by acting according to the value she already knows she has. And if she's with someone who treats her as an option, the question isn't why doesn't he value me? The question is, why don't I value myself enough to leave? And the answer almost always is in the child she was. In the girl who learned that love is scarce and needs to be earned. That her needs are inconvenient. That she needs to settle for less. But she's no longer that child. And she doesn't need to accept crumbs anymore. So if there's a woman listening who accepts being a second choice, certain truths need to be acknowledged. Truths that will hurt but that she needs to hear. He knows exactly what he's doing. He keeps her as an option because it's convenient for him. She's not special but misunderstood. She's accessible and he's taking advantage. He won't promote her to priority. Because why would he if he already has her without effort? She's not building something gradually. She's wasting time with someone who already decided she's not worth the full effort. And this must also be said with all sincerity. She can leave now. She doesn't need more proof. She doesn't need more disappointments. She already knows everything she needs to know. But there's hope. And hope isn't in him finally seeing her. Hope is in her finally opening her eyes. And opening her eyes means stopping justifying his behavior, stopping waiting for him to change, stopping competing for a place that should automatically be hers, stopping measuring her value by the choice of someone who barely chooses her, starting to act like the priority she is, even if that means leaving. And when she does that, when she really puts herself first, one of two things will happen. He'll realize he's losing her and will truly change. Rare but possible. He'll let her go, much more likely. And if it's option 2, she lost nothing. Because someone who lets her go easily never truly held her. She deserved someone who chose her every day. Not just when convenient. She deserved to be the first call, the first option, the first priority. She deserved not to have to compete, prove, or beg for a place that should naturally be hers. And maybe she didn't have that until now. But she still has an entire life ahead. And this time she can choose differently. Not choosing men who have potential, but choosing to never again accept being treated as Plan B. The type of choice that says, I'm a priority. And if you can't see me that way, someone else will. And if there's someone listening now with a tight heart, it's because they already know the truth. She's not a second choice. She never was. She just accepted being treated like one. And now, finally, she can stop. Not tomorrow. Not when he gets better. Not when she's sure. Now. Because while she's waiting to be chosen by someone who doesn't deserve her, she's losing the chance to be found by someone who would see her as the only option. And that someone exists. But she'll never find them while stuck being the second choice of someone who doesn't value her. So stand up, breathe deeply, and leave. Not with anger, not with drama, but with dignity. The dignity of someone who finally understood. I'm not an option. I'm a priority. And whoever doesn't see that, doesn't deserve even my second choice of attention.